Hello and welcome to another video. Today we are going to be working on a JVC D750. This is just another one of the D range from JVC. Now this machine has the same problem that the 860 had, but I didn't actually show you what the problem was. Now, because I was going to do another video, this VCR has the same symptom. I'm actually going to show you what the symptom is before we get into it and try and repair it. Okay, I'm going to connect it up and put a tape in. Right, let's connect it up. Get the okay. Now, as I was explaining on my last video, sellers point out that the item is working. Now, this item was listed as in working condition. Now, I am now going to show you it came out of the box and this is how it was. You've got to be very careful about the risks you undertake buying stuff second hand. Okay, now let me switch on the television. If you know what you're doing, if you're an electronics engineer like I am, then you probably get away with it. But if you don't know anything about electronics, you've never worked on electronics before, or you're not comfortable or whatever, then it's going to be a bit hard for you. Okay, let's switch it on. I'm now going to just get the old TV loaded manual tuning. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to show you the symptoms. You see our test pattern. Okay, so I'm just going to load the tape now to switch off the test pattern. Okay. Load up our tape. Okay, so here we have our symptom. Okay, so we have a large band at the bottom. Okay, we have wavering at the top, and the middle of the picture seems to be in some kind of order. Now, I have noticed that if you stop it, and then you start it up again, you may get a different symptom. Yes, exactly right. So now you get a completely different symptom where the band is on the top of the picture, okay, and the bottom of the picture is fine. So now this is caused by head switching. As I explained to you in the last video, it's the head switching point, okay, where the head switches on and off. Now there is a capacitor which goes bad, and that capacitor is a 3.3 microfarad capacitor. On the last video you saw me replacing that cap. Now I did it the hard way. Now on this machine I don't think we need to do that much work to get it done. So let me eject the tape and we'll get into it. Okay. You sort of see what I mean now about things being sold as in working condition. Right. Need to find the screw as well for this. This has also been into before me. Right, we need to get the bottom undone. And then we'll assess the situation. This is actually made in West Germany, not in Japan. You would expect something like this to be made in Japan. Right, so it's got exactly the same head drum. So the capacitor is actually there. So that's why we don't really need to take anything off. It is awkward, I must say. It is awkward, but it's not undoable. It's not, undoable. You can do it. It's not. We can still. I think this motor will need a little bit of oiling as well because it's just making a horrible grinding sound. Okay, so the negative is towards the outside. warm up the soldering iron. So let me just show you where the capacitor actually is. Okay, it's actually there. I'm pointing to it, that one there. That's the capacitor which we have to change. But we have to make sure we don't interrupt this. Now I'll explain to you about this. Underneath here you have a magnet. Now that magnet has obviously got the data in there. I'll probably take this magnet off, just for safety. Okay, so let me see if I can just loosen this a little bit. You don't have to take the whole mechanism off this one and turn it round and turn it upside down and do this, that and the other. Because you've got a lot of connections on here and I don't really want to mess anything up. Because I do intend to sell it at some point. Because I don't really need a vintage VCR like this, but some people, there are okay, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to mark the position of this so there, so it'll go that way, because I don't really want to risk damaging the information on there, and that will give me a little bit more room as well. Right. There we are. So keep this well away from any magnet or metal or anything like that. Just keep it away. So now we can easily, we've got some clearance in there. So we'll be using the twist off method, and what I'll do again, I'll move the camera so that you can see it. And I'll do it standing up. Okay. So that's the capacitor in question. So let me get my so we'll press here. There we are. So on this one, you've still got the bottom attached to it, so I'll have to sit down and take that off. Bottom of the cap is still on there. Let's get you in shot. Okay. I'll put some solder on there in a minute. Just get rid of all the little pieces of plastic that are in there. Well, this one's just flown off. I don't know, God knows where it's gone. Right, get some solder, and what we'll do is we'll lay the capacitor this way. Okay, or we can put it the other way as well, but I just feel it's going to be easier to It's really a nice sunny day out there. Okay, so okay, to just get the pads on, right? So now we get our capacitor, and we do exactly the same thing as we were doing yesterday. But yesterday we did go around the houses. Well, we had to do it properly without damaging anything. We had to go around the houses, take off the half of the circuitry, and get the mechanism off, flip it up. So here I have my collection of capacitors here. So we need a 3.3 microfarad 50 volt, which is the third one down from here. So we can take this one. So here we are, that's the 3.3 mic. And then I need to prepare it. Let me get my cutters. Now, some people will say, oh well, you know, you got a bad head drum, you know, why don't you change the whole thing? Well, why do you have to change the whole thing when you could actually repair this in next to nothing? This capacitor costs about 10 pence. Okay, the whole head drum, if you were to be lucky enough to find something like this now in 2021, it'll cost you a fair bit of money. All you need to have is the expertise to do repairs. Okay. Maybe we shorten the wires a little bit here. As I said, I've actually done this before. I mean, in my repair career, in my lifetime. I have done so many of these JVCs, but sometimes I have not been successful. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, should you have a fault like that, that's the exact cause of it. It could be the actual circuitry, you see, but most of the time it is that cap, because that's one of the, you know, the surface mounted capacitors, which are absolutely terrible. They really are. So I'm just going to push this a little bit to the side, because I'm going to tin the well, I've just tinned the no. Right. It's really windy out there today, but it's a sunny day. There we are, that cap is on. Right, that's it. Now we start putting it back together. Okay, so what we need to do first of all is we need to okay, so we need to put our drum magnet back on, and we need to put it back exactly the point which it came off. There we are. Now I'm going to put the screws back in. Oh, not these ones, wrong ones. There you go. Right, before I close this, I am going to test it. But also what I'm going to do is I need to oil the bushing on this motor. So I'll just move you back in position now. Okay. So I just want to put some machine oil. Okay. I'm going to put some machine oil into the bearing of this motor, just making sure I don't put it anywhere it shouldn't go. Right. Okay. The reason I'm doing this is because it was just making a horrible racket. So just clean off the excess. Okay. Okay, so now we connect it all up again and we see whether we've made any difference. Nope, sorry, wrong plug. Hopefully now it shouldn't make that horrible grinding sound as the motor's struggling. Right. Well, hopefully it shouldn't, but I mean, I don't know whether it will or not. It doesn't really matter. Right, it's playing. So let's see our output. There we are. There we are, straight up. Another one repaired with a bad cap. Look at that. That is a really nice picture. Has it got any picture sharpness on there? Yes, it has. There it is. That is really, really nice. It's a really nice picture. What about the pause? Pause, I reckon, is better on the other machine. Oh, okay. Well, it still works. Forward. Let's rewind. Perfect. Excellent. Right, we now put it back together. Here's that little piece of plastic that came off. There are some screws missing on this one, so I'll try and find. I think there's one screw missing here. See if I've got one. Probably use this one or this one here. It's earthing. I think we need one in there, and then we need one in here as well, so we need two of them. Okay, one more. You've got to have the right length as well. I think that'll do. Right, that's it. There we are. It's missing one screw, but I'll find it later. Right, I hope you enjoyed that brief look at our head drum servo on another machine. It's an older machine, but it has the same problem. If you ever have a JVC machine which has those kind of symptoms, always have a look at that capacitor on the head drum servo's board underneath, because guaranteed that is the cause of your problem. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like, share and especially subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.